Hey there, welcome back to my channel, Ashley's Oasis. And today we're going to talk about trusting your intuition, trusting yourself essentially. Um, I just had a epiphany of just kind of thinking about things that's occurred to me in my past and situations where I found myself like second guessing or doubting myself, or basically having people, use an opportunity where I may not have been 100% in my right headspace and try to take those opportunities to gaslight me and like, oh yeah, maybe you are a little crazy, maybe you are a little, this or that. And it's like, I'm the type of person that I am very introspective, but I also appreciate other people's input. I'm in a place where I no longer value other people's thoughts over my own. But I recognize and I realize that it's been a pattern throughout my entire life. And I mean that literally for, as far back as I can think, when I became more self aware of these things that, or these situations I would continue to find myself in, and or the same type of people I would find myself surrounded by doing these things, or and it would oftentimes make me wonder, like, why do I feel like I always find myself surrounded by these same type of people who make me feel like either what I'm doing isn't enough, or I need to not be like myself but be more like them, or be like everyone else and what everyone else is doing. But I've always been comfortable being who I am, behaving as I do, wearing my hair as I do. Like, it doesn't have to suit you, and that's fine. That's why it's mine. But just that as an example, and how people have tried to like control me and make me lose that trust in myself, and knowing that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks or has to say, that it's my life. And ultimately, I would never go in someone's life and tell them, okay, well, you need to do this, that, and stick to it to the letter, knowing darn well I don't even know how to figure out my own stuff. So it's like, I always try my best to not give advice, give unsolicited advice to people, especially more so now. I know I had to, grow to learn to get there, because I used to just give this information out for free, and oftentimes unwarranted, and I do feel that I may have rubbed some people the wrong way through my past, and just being so blunt and so honest. But that's why I like to say, like, don't ask me unless you want the absolute truth, because that's all I'm going to give to you. And ultimately, I recognize that people are going to do what they want to do. And the same goes for me. So recognizing that, when you doubt yourself or doubt your abilities or doubt anything about yourself, whether it's your career stance, or how hard of a worker you are. And if you have someone coming in like, hey, bro, you didn't work as hard today or whatever. And you could be like, oh, dang, I didn't. Like, I thought I gave it my all. And you could have someone come in and just in that brief moment snap your whole world around and make you believe that you ain't doing ish, and then that's not the truth at all. You may have had an off day. You may have had a bad day, especially if you're the type of employee um, that's always on point and that you pride yourself on your work. You'll have those people who don't work as hard as you coming in trying to tear you down when you have a moment of weakness, or if you're having a bad day or bad week or bad month, whatever. But ultimately it's like, why are you hating on me? Like, and why are you watching what I'm doing? Shouldn't you be worrying about doing your job? Like, worry about yourself. So those are some, situations that I look back now with a clear head. Like, I feel like this is the clearest my mind has ever been. The level of maturity that I feel like I've tapped into over the last few years has really just skyrocketed, in my opinion, because I have learned to stop taking other people's perspectives and opinions and all of that jazz as like, the gospel. Because at the end of the day, that changes from person to person. What is true and all that and factual to one person may not be the same to another. So you really have to learn to have a strong and firm foundation within yourself to know what is your truth and what are your deal breakers, and where's your morality line, like what lines won't you cross. in terms of how you navigate this life. And you might encounter folks that'll make you feel like, oh, the way that you handle things or the way that you navigate your life isn't right, or it doesn't 100% align with the status quo. So, oh, automatically what you're doing is wrong. When in actuality, that's a fear response from them, because they're like, oh, shoot, well, if they're able to be successful and make these things happen for them, and they're not following the quote unquote, cut guideline that I was given since I was in high school and was told, hey, all you got to do is go to college and get a degree and you'll get the career and yada, 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 and climb the ladder, blah, 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 blah. But if they didn't do any of that and they're still where I am, or worse, in their opinion, they're over me, then it's like, how is that so? I followed all the rules, I did all the things, but the problem is that people let others dictate what they should do for their lives because they don't trust in their own ability to know how to guide themselves. And that's the one beautiful thing about life, is that there is no one and only path. There is no one and only way to win this race. At the end of the day, the only way you're going to get to the end of the finish line is to run your own race, and is also to navigate the challenges and the positivity or whatever it is that you're dealing with in your life for you. You cannot take a cookie cutter way to life and apply that to everyone, because everyone either doesn't want to strive for that same type of journey, which is completely okay, and or some people are just meant to take the long way around. Some people prefer to take the long way around. I guess I would consider myself that type of person. I'm okay with taking the scenic route, the tortoise and the hare scenario here. I'm okay being the tortoise. Though to you, it may look like, oh, she's going slow, or she hasn't started, or she hasn't da-da-da-da, when in actuality, I'm already lapping you. You just weren't paying attention because you was that hare over there taking a nap when I had crossed the finish line. And then when you got up, you thought, oh, they just now reaching the finish line. I already done this thing by 20 times, when in actuality, because of the long nap you took, metaphorically, the tortoise done beat you by 11 times, and you don't even realize it because you're so fixated and focused on them. So this is where trusting in your own journey, no matter how long that takes, no matter what you have to do. And I'm not talking about, coming after other people or tearing down the little guy so you can put yourself on top. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you running your own race, taking your time to sort yourself out, to know what's true for you, and the fact that it doesn't matter what everyone else thinks you should be doing or how you should get there. Because the thing that I can't stand is when people try to project their model of how they got to wherever they got to in life on you, thinking that, oh, well, it worked for me, it'll work for you. And it's like, yeah, but one, I may not want to take that path. And two, just because that worked for you doesn't mean that I will have the same outcome. I might do worse, I might do better. But at the end of the day, the choice should ultimately always be your own. It should be you making up your mind and decisions about how you want to go about these things. Do not let these people who don't even have their own lives figured out convince you that how you're choosing to navigate in this world is wrong, because there is no right or wrong. Like, at the end of the day, that's why there's so many, various types of people on this planet. Like, we all are striving to the same goal, just a little differently. And that's okay. But I know it's, the type of society that we live in, it's always celebrated to be like everyone else, to be don't stand out, fit in. You'll get further with more people around you, when in actuality, that's not the truth. If you want to go far in life, go alone, because at the end of the day, the only person that you'll have to, self-reflect and figure out, okay, could I have done this different or that different, or did I slow myself down, is you. You won't be able to say, oh, well, Timmy told me to go left when I should have went right, and blah, blah. You won't have any excuses. You won't have anyone to blame. Like me, I take 100% responsibility for how my life has played out and the things that have come along with that, whether they be challenges or that I had to eventually overcome, or or even the positive things that's come in my life. Like, I credit me, because at the end of the day, one thing I know people who know me best know about me is that I'm going to do what I feel is best for me, regardless. And that took a long time for me to get to that place, because I used to 100% listen to everyone else and, oh yeah, maybe you're right, maybe I am, maybe I should, maybe. And I realized, like, all that got me was confusion. All that got me was just even more so spinning my wheels trying to figure myself out. And then I also recognized that, within trying to figure myself out, it wasn't because I was ready to do that. It's because all of these external pressures were making me feel like, oh, well, you got to figure stuff out now, 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 now. You have to have a handle on these things right now. But that's not true, because here I am. I'm, my great big old age, and I still don't 100% have things figured out about myself or about this life. And I don't think any one of us ever will have ourselves 100% figured out. But I do trust that the only person that knows you best is you. So how can someone else tell you how to navigate your life and how to be the best version of yourself and to learn to trust yourself if you don't do that for yourself? Stop letting other people think for you. And I do feel that we have a lot of people these days that are okay. They feel best when someone else can just tell them, hey, do this, 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 this. And they're like, okay, but if you tell them, hey, come up with this idea on your own, or come up with your own idea to do this, 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 then they're stuck. They're stuck. They don't know what to do. Whereas a person like me, I've always been a creative type. I've always been able to, come up with solutions to my problems. And even if I can't, then that's where I'm like, hey, I don't mind listening to someone else's perspective, but ultimately the final decision will be mine, and whether that'll work for me or not, because I'm the only person that knows my needs, my wants, and, whatever else that I need in my personal life. So I can't put all my trust in other people, and ultimately remembering the fact that people are imperfect beings. So putting my 100% trust in any one person is always going to end up in failure. And I know that that's taken me some time to get there, because I've always been the type of person that I hold myself to a high esteem. So I will hold others to a high esteem, unknowingly so. And then when I would get let down by those same people, I feel so, broken up about it. But then I had to remind myself, like, well, Ashley, they're just a person just like you. They're imperfect just like you. They're just trying to figure themselves out just like you. So that's when I stopped putting all of my hope and trust into other people, and more so in myself. Again, not from an arrogant standpoint, like, oh, I know everything and I can think, like, no, it's just about, I pride myself on just being a type of person who wants to consider the whole picture, and to understand how, even in this moment, I might be suffering through something, but recognizing that the bigger picture might be worth it, and only way to know that is to go through it. And by trusting in my own abilities and trusting in myself, I've been able to pull myself out of so many different scenarios and situations. So I want to again remind everyone to learn to trust your intuition, trust yourself. If you have that gut feeling about something, it don't sit right with you, it don't feel right, that is a response from your inner self telling you, hey, something ain't right about this or that person or this situation or da 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 da. Listen to it. Do not ignore it, because I guarantee if you ignore it, you will regret it. If not now, later. And I'm the type of person like, hey, if I can spare people from going through certain things that I've gone through or situations, and I will be that. I don't mind being that example. Like, hey, I'm the example of what not to do. This, I did this, and that's how it turned out for me. And hey, if I can help you not to go through that, then I'm cool with that. I'm cool being the guinea pig. That's fine. But yeah, don't discount your emotions and your feelings about things, people, energies, scenarios. Like, trust yourself. And if you can, if the only option is for you to remove yourself from certain situations, trust that you're making the right decision. Like I stated in the last video, I went through something similar with, my family and I moving to where we are now. That was me trusting myself. And even my husband had some reservations. I even had some reservations, but ultimately I knew that making this move would be what was best for me and ultimately for our little family. So it's like, and so far we've not been wrong. We've had multiple positive things to take place since we've gotten here, and I'm hoping to keep that momentum going. I hope to continue to trust in myself and my abilities and my intuition to know that, hey, I was guided here for a reason, and I don't want to leave here until I'm done doing whatever it is I'm supposed to do. But trust yourself, trust your intuition, and that'll be it for today. I hope you guys are having a good day. If you're not, I hope that it gets better. And yeah, just learn to love on yourself, give yourself grace, and until next time, see ya.